Hi Louvain. Today we're going to be covering Chapter 7, Lesson 2 on changing time in minutes to seconds. So to begin with, I'd like you to write down how many days are in a week, hours in a day, minutes in an hour, and seconds in a minute. Just pause the video there whilst you do that. So we should have 7 days in a week, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour, and 60 seconds in a minute. So well done if you got that correct. So that's going to link in with today's learning. So first of all, let's have a look at our InFocus task. So it says, in 1954 at Oxford, Roger Bannister became the first person to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. This is time he ran it in here. How many seconds are there in 4 minutes? Okay, so I'm just going to cover this up here, and I would like you to have a think about how we're going to go about working out the answer to our InFocus task. How many seconds are there in 4 minutes? Think about what you already know and how you're going to use that to find the answer. Pause the video here while you just have a go at that. So we're going to have a look at our Let's Learn to see what methods they decided to use. Before we go on to find out the answer, what I'd like you to do is work out how long a minute actually is. What can you do in a minute? What can be done? So I'd like you to go and get a timer. Okay, so there's timers on iPads or phones, or maybe you can get mum or dad or sister, brother, anybody in your house to time you for a minute and see what things you can do in 1 minute. I'd like you to make me a list of things you can do in 1 minute. Pause the video, go and have some fun. Right, welcome back. I hope you found some fun things to do in a minute, some productive things to do in a minute. So Elliot says he can walk about 80 metres in a minute. That's quite impressive. Amira says she can type about 40 words. Maybe you worked out how many words you can read in a minute, how many star jumps you could do in a minute. Maybe you'd like to share some of those ideas you found on our Google Classroom stream. So let's move on to how many seconds are in 4 minutes. So we've got two methods that they've used here. The first method, they've worked out 1 minute equals 60 seconds. 2 minutes is then double that, which is 120 seconds, and 4 minutes is double 120, which is 240 seconds. Method 2, what have they used here? This should be familiar to you all, as we have covered this in our multiplication unit. They've used a method of multiplication to do 60 multiplied by 4. Why have they done 60 multiplied by 4? Where have they got those numbers from? So of course there's 60 seconds in a minute, and we want to find out 4 minutes, so 4 lots of 60. So I'd like you to just have a go at this here on your piece of paper. 60 seconds multiplied by 4. So there's 3 digits we need to, I haven't done that accurately, sorry. Because remember we need to keep our place value in line. So I'd like you to have a go at that, please. Pause the video while you give it a go. Right, so let's give it a go. We've got 0 times 4 equals 0. And then we've got 6 times 4. 6, 12, 18, 24. And we put our 24 in here, and we've got 240 seconds. Okay, so they've got 240 seconds in method 1 and 240 seconds in method 2. So it's up to you which method you prefer. What times table have they been using here? They've been using our 6 times tables because, of course, there are 60 seconds in a minute. Okay, so using their 6 times tables and multiplying by 10 to make 60. Okay, so let's have a look at question 3. I took 12 minutes 40 seconds to complete a run. Ravi said, that's about 700 seconds. Is Ravi correct? Does 12 minutes 40 seconds equal 700 seconds? So we need to do our conversion. So we've got the same method here as before, method 1, and the same method here for method 2. We want to learn how to do them both, and then when we come to do our own, answering our own questions, we can choose the method we prefer. So let's have a look at method 1. What they've done is they've split the 12 minutes into working out what 1 minute is, which we know is 60 seconds. So 10 minutes would therefore be 60 multiplied by 10, which equals 600 seconds. So if we know that 600 seconds is 10 minutes, we need to then find another 2 minutes to make 12. So 2 minutes would be 60 plus 60, which equals 120. Then we need to add 10 minutes, which is 600, add 2 minutes, which is 120 in our column addition here. Which we all know how to do. Give that a quick go. Should equal 720 seconds. Okay, so they've used their knowledge of multiplications, finding 10 and then finding 2 and adding it together. Or you can try method 2. So there they have used 12 times 60. Why have they done 12 times 60? Because they need to find 12 lots of 1 minute. So first thing they're going to do is 12 times 0 equals 0, and then 12 times 6, which equals 72. Add them together, the digits together, we've got 720 seconds. Okay, so same as that method. However, that gives us 12 minutes. We've still got another 40 seconds we need to add on. So we're going to do 720, add the extra 40 seconds, is 760 seconds. So is Ravi correct? He's about 60 seconds off of the correct answer, isn't he? So now I'd like you to have a go at the guided practice. You may prefer to use method 1, so using your 6 times tables, your knowledge of multiplication and addition, or you might like to use this multiplication method here. The first question would like you to work out what 7 minutes is in seconds, and then what 24 minutes is in seconds. Number 2, Matthew Lane ran 10,000 metres in 28 minutes. How many seconds did he take? And there's some little helpful points down there to help you get to the answer. So pause the video here whilst you work that out. So for number 1A, we need to find 7 minutes is equal to how many seconds? So if 1 minute equals 60, we need to time the 60 by 7. So I'm going to try this way. 60 multiplied by 7. 0 times 7 is 0, and 6 times 7 is 42. That makes 420 seconds. For question B, we want to find out 24 minutes. If I do it this way, let's see if it works. 24 times 0 is 0. 24 times 6. So now that's where you might get a little bit stuck. So let's go back and do it a different way. We need to find 24 times 60. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do 24 times 6, and then I can multiply it by 10 to make 60 at the end. So first thing I'm going to do is split up my 24 into 10, 10 and 4 because they're a little bit easier to work out. 10 add 10 add 4 equals 24. 10 times 6 equals 60. 10 times 6 again equals 60. And 4 times 6 equals 24. Okay, so I found out 24 times 6 here. I'm just going to add them up in my column addition. 0 add 0 add 4. 6 add 6 add 2. 144. However, we need to do 24 times 60. So we need to multiply our answer by 10, which equals 1,440. Use a place value grid if you're not sure how to multiply by 10. Make sure all of your digits move up by one place, and then we have our placeholder at the end. So 1,440 seconds is 24 minutes. Okay. So we've used both methods there for question number 1. For question number 2, Matthew Lane ran 10,000 metres in 28 minutes. How many seconds did he take? So they've worked out 1 minute is 60. 10 minutes would be 60 times 10, which equals 600 seconds. Elliot says, what do we need to do next? We found out 10 minutes. We would like 28. So I'm going to find out another 10 minutes, which equals 20. So far we've worked out 20 minutes. Now we need another 8 minutes. So we have to do 60 times 8. 0 times 8 is 0. And 6 times 8 is 48. So 8 minutes is 480 seconds. 10 add 10 add 8 equals 28. Now we need to add our seconds together using column addition. Have a little go at that. So 28 minutes equals 1,680 seconds. Okay, so you might have to use a combination of both methods in order to get your answer. Okay. So now I'd like you to have a go at worksheet 2 on page 167. They're going to ask you to convert minutes to seconds like we have been doing here. Okay, so remember, using methods 1 and methods 2, you can recap on this video if you want to look back on how to use those methods. Any questions, do post in our Google Classroom stream. You can access this workbook page, this textbook page on the Maths No Problem login on their website. Okay, and you can also find your worksheet page on our Google Classroom. See you tomorrow.